Hello. Today I'll be reviewing the Beatles' 1967 album, Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. This is probably my favorite album by the Beatles. It is in very close running with Revolver, as well as Abbey Road, which I know were all obvious picks for favorite album by the Beatles. I think this is probably one of the greatest albums of all time, and that's not saying anything new. Most people would agree with that. I think this was released in a very special time in the Beatles' career. They had stopped performing live at all. They never did concerts the year before, 1966, right before Revolver came out, because the fans were just too loud, and you couldn't hear the music in concert, and they thought it was a waste of time, so they just focused on making music that was very great, very cool to listen to, but it couldn't even be reproduced live, at least at that time. There are no weak tracks on this album, in my opinion. I know many people do not like Lovely Rita or Good Morning, or even When I'm 64, which I don't understand. It's my favorite song on the album, actually. It is a concept album of sorts, and I say of sorts because only the first two songs and the Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club reprise at the end that comes right before the final track really fit into the theme of the band and the Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club band. And I really like the cover for this as well. It's really interesting. The band is in the front there, and they're dressed in marching band uniforms. And you can also see their former selves in suits, which is how they dressed prior to this. And it looks like they're at a funeral, and it's as if they're burying their old selves. And there are many famous people that inspired them in the background here. I think it's one of the better album covers of all time, actually. I don't know if it's the best, but it's one of the better ones. I also really like the artwork. Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds is probably the most popular song here, and it's also one of the best. It's a John Lennon original. One thing I thought was kind of weird about this album is the abundance of Paul McCartney songs. Usually on a Beatles album, the Paul songs and John songs are evened out. They usually get 5 or 6 each, and George will get 2. Usually he only gets 1 on this album, and Ringo always gets 1, and he still gets 1 here, because Ringo's only going to get 1 song. He won't get no more. George's song is one that you really have to grow to like, as in it's an acquired taste. It's about 5 minutes long. It's called Within You, Without You. It's very inspired by Indian culture. He was very in Indian culture at that time. It has sitar, all that in it. It's a good song. It's not my favorite. I think this is probably the happiest sounding Beatles album, which is why I really like it. I love the vocals. I love the lyrics. They're trippy and it's psychedelic, but it was released in 1967. I believe it was released during the Summer of Love, and I could be wrong on that, but I'm pretty sure it was. And it just fits what I imagine that time was like. It fits that in my head. It's very fun to listen to. I love the songs here, and I also love all the hidden messages within the cover and the backmasking. That's very interesting to me as well. It's probably one of their most popular albums and one of their most studied albums because of the cover art and the backmasking, as I said. I think it's a very strong album. It's worth buying at pretty much any price. It's a rock music classic. And if you're one of the few people who have never listened to this album, and if you like rock music or pop music, what are you waiting for? I'm sure you'll love it. Thank you for watching.